Hey guys, welcome back to Alternative Smallholding on this rather sunny, humid day. I thought I should do a plot tour because I've not done one since April, I think it is. It's really sunny and it keeps raining really heavily. So I'm going to do the main plot and then we'll dash into the greenhouses if the heavens open yet again. So as I said, I haven't done a tour since April, and in my not my last video, the one before where I did a piece explaining why, I said don't judge me on the state of the plot, and part of me wants to use the title Welcome to the Jungle for this because it's not a pretty plot. There are reasons why, some that I mentioned in the video and others I didn't. But I thought I'd better take you around. We're going to do just the big plot today because the one with the cut flower patch on, there are some things that I want to show you separately which will take more time, and I think we'll get caught out by the rain. So without any ado, let's see what's going on the plot. Starting at the bottom, the flower bed is nowhere near as impressive this year. There's some things in here like this Tithonia that just hasn't grown at all, but other things are looking quite pretty. And we have a few sunflowers trying. I need to deadhead. If you've got cosmos, just pop the heads off like that and then they'll keep flowering. We've got our straw flowers back. I love these. But other than that, it's not doing anywhere near as much as it was last year, sadly. So this monster, which I need to train, gosh, it's gone all the way over here. I need to train this to go inwards. This is our honey boat squash. It's really taken off. It's probably the most, it looks the most lush of all of the squash plants that we've got. Can you even see me? Probably not. So it looks great, but pretty. I haven't seen a single fruit on it, not at all. So there's been lots of male flowers like these. You can tell the male ones because they've got the long stem, but I haven't seen a single female flower on all of these plants. Again, another male flower. There's nothing. I'm not expecting to actually get any squash from that. If I do, it'll be one of those hidden treasure surprises at the end of the season. He's still here. I haven't composted him, I promise. Not yet, anyway. So next to the squash, we've got this. So there's the squash bed, and these are potatoes. Now, what I wanted to do was to try the no-dig roof stout method, which means that you put the potatoes straight on the ground and you mulch them with hay. I'm not sure if it's worked or not. The potatoes were put in a little bit late, to be honest, and they don't seem to have grown very much. I did have a rummage around about 3 weeks ago and I couldn't find anything. So let's have a dig around now and see if there's any actual potatoes hidden in this potato patch. They've flowered, so they're telling me that they've done what they need to do, but I don't know if they have. I'm going to go for this one right at the end. Dear squash plant, please move. Okay, so this has had quite a few layers of hay on it. And oh, we've got a potato, look at this. Behold my potato harvest. I bet no one can claim a harvest as good as that, can they? Oh look, there's two. So I don't know. They are main crop potatoes, but I expected to have at least like decent sized salad potatoes.
Hello.
Here's Rooster. You okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Right then, so that's the potatoes, no dig method, using the roof stout. Oh, piling on hay. The plants look healthy, but they haven't produced anything as of yet. There's still a little bit of time, walking straight into the sun, sorry. There's still a little bit of time before I would expect them to start dying back. So, fingers crossed, we can actually get something out of them. I know, it looks great, doesn't it? These are my next crop of kale, and as you can see, I didn't cover them and the caterpillars have had a good go. They'll be going into a mesh soon, but they'll recover, they'll be fine. And these are all lettuces that need to be planted out. There's some really nice varieties in here. Where are you two going? Oh, they're so cute. There's some really cool ones. These are, I don't know the names of any of them because they're the real seeds, like rarity mix ones that they're trialling, and they just chuck them all together. They're part of our free food project. We're giving everybody like bags of mixed lettuce and spring onions, cucumbers, and beans and all sorts of things and flowers. So that's why we've got so many of those. I love lettuce and salad, but even I couldn't get through that many once they start producing. Rue, should we do tomatoes or corn first?
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes. The jungle.
The jungle?
So we have 8 rows of tomatoes along here, with our rather artistic bean arch yet again in the middle. Tomatoes. We've not had a good tomato year, I'm not going to lie. The first problem started off when I mislabelled loads of them and they all were named as mystery plants. Then I didn't get to plant them all in time, and some of them on the other plot are really, really scraggly. These ones are doing better. I haven't been tying them in as much as I should, but they're looking healthy at least. The problem we've really had with the tomatoes is they set a lot of fruit early when we just when we planted them, and then they've not really set anything since at all. I don't know why that is. They've all dropped their blossoms and now they're starting to go again. You can see we're starting to get flowers again here. Is that for me?
Yes.
Thank you. Rue's giving me a borage flower. So I'm not sure why. If you actually research why tomatoes drop their blossoms, then it says because of high heat, like over 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like 32 I think here, which we've only had like once or twice, and that was recently, but these have been in since the start of June and they form very, very little fruit. Last year we had, say, the big truck that we have, and that was full of tomatoes, and this year we're getting like 1 or 2 at a time, which isn't great. I mean, they're nice, but I don't think we're going to have anything to store this year. It's just going to be for eating fresh. This is what the blossoms have been doing. They flower and then they dry and just drop off. They've been fed, they've been nurtured. I've told them I love them many, many times, and they don't want to know. These are my Budknovka pink. Now they ripen quite early. I've had a lot of these already, and these ones are looking good. That's a massive one at the back. Just to let you know that we decided to mulch the tomatoes with straw, and we did 2 rows of those. In terms of weed suppressant, it's worked really well, but once we did mulch them, we've had a lot of rain ever since, so I can't really do a comparison as to whether it held in a lot of moisture or not, because it's been wet anyway. But will you look at the weeds? You can see where we didn't put cardboard down, can't you? I feel really odd doing this tour. I feel really out of practice. I haven't done one in ages and I don't know what my camera's doing. I feel this might be highly edited. But our bean arch, it's definitely an arch this year, and they're all the same kind of height, but everything's slipping down. It's on a bit of a wonky, but it is producing beans. So we've got some ballottis, some of these purple ones. We've got these are Cocoa Sophie, I think. And all down here we've got all sorts of ones really. They're all growing nicely. None of these beans are for fresh eating. The whole idea with the bean arch is that I put together a pot of all the leftover beans I had in packets that are used for shelling or for drying beans, and I just planted them all to use them up, and because I knew that I wasn't going to be saving seed from them, they are just going to be for drying off and then putting in a jar, and we'll use them in stews and curries and chilies and things like that. The sweet corn isn't magnificent. It definitely has cobs forming, compared to last year when we had like, what was it, about 10-foot corn, and it had like 3 cobs on each one. It's not anything compared to that really, and I don't think we'll have much to store at all, probably just eating fresh again. Are they playing a game? Underneath the corn we have a slight tomato forest on this side. Now these are on the taller corn, so I don't think this is draining any energy out, but these are all self-seeded spoons and there's loads of them, and I was going to transplant them but I don't want to. I'm just going to leave them all in there. There is also 4, I think, kombucha, squash plants in there, and there's no fruit on them. Not that I can tell anyway. These were our peas. These were Lord Leicester tall peas. This has fallen down a bit now because I've left it, I haven't repaired it, but these were easily 7 foot tall, and this was absolutely full. I have never had peas do so well as these. Yeah, and here. So these are a rare heirloom variety. I got them from Real Seeds here in the UK, and we picked, for the first time we actually got peas home. That never happens. That's because they were so prolific, and they were really delicious at mange 2. They were delicious at mange 2 stage, and also as full podded peas. Now I've noticed that there's still new peas coming. They didn't get mildew, they're just dying back. They seem very mildew resistant. That's not bad, is it, for a late pea? Well, these were planted in, oh gosh, when did I plant them? March, April? No, I just planted them in paper pots and then put them outside. And they've done really, really well, and they consistently produced pods like that. What I'm doing with these now is I've stopped picking from them, other than these today, and I'm letting them all go to seed because I want loads of seed for those next year. And I also want to be able to save some of them to share with people, because people need to grow this bee. It is absolutely amazing. The stalks start to die back at one point when it has its first flush, and that'll be around when you start to get pea moth as well. And I thought, oh, they're very susceptible to pea moth, they're just going to die back. And they didn't. What they started to do is they started to put out lots of new shoots. I took out the old shoots, they came back, we had another massive harvest, and now if I'd have kept picking them, I reckon they would have kept going. But I've left them now because I want all the seed. These are the outdoor cucumbers. This is a dahlia, and it's been fed and it was looking really poorly. So I put it in the ground, and it's got more green shoots coming now, but still got some poorly leaves. And another self-sown tomato, no idea what it is. But in here we have loads of little cucumbers growing. These are Market More. They are the most reliable outdoor computer? Gosh, really? Cucumber. There, I've got a nice big one there. See? I'm going to take that off if I can. There we go. So that's not bad. They do have prickles on them, but I just rub them and then they're fine. To me, these have the best proper cucumber flavour, not like those watery ones that you get from the supermarkets. But they actually taste like really strong cucumber, and they're really crunchy as well. So we always grow these. I put extra plants in this year because we're sharing them with people, and to be honest, I think I counted in here the other day about 30 baby cucumbers, so I hope my neighbours like them. Underneath the row of cosmos, now I said I wanted to put more flowers around the plot this year, and that's what I've done. I've got rows of flowers in different places, and there's a tandy herb just there. We have another tomato plant. Oh no, it's split. So this is yellow pear. I'll just take that off. As you may know, for 25 years I couldn't eat tomatoes because of the thick-skinned varieties that they sell in the store that are always sprayed with like fungicides and pesticides and all that, and I'm allergic to that. And then I discovered I could eat my own tomatoes last year, and there's no stopping me now. In amongst the weeds here we've got black futsu squash. I do actually have one, and I've just spotted that I have a baby one here too. I think there was another one somewhere. I always put them over this frame so they can ramble over it. There was 6 plants. Bearded dude pulled one out by accident, and as far as I can tell, and that's the only one we've got that's anywhere near a decent size, and that's not even big. But one squash out of 30 plants planted. It's something, I guess. Something. This is a little dahlia that Louise sent to me. I think this one's Wizard of Oz. It hasn't grown as well as the other cuttings because I left it in a pot for too long. But it's coming along now, it looks great. And these are some outdoor peppers that don't look great, but they were left in a pot and I thought I'll just chuck them in. Roo, come see. These are the spoon plants that seeded themselves. And look, you've got fruit. Ooh. The spoon is tiny, but it is the best tomato in the world, isn't it?
Yes.
Huh?
It's very delicious. It's my favourite tomato.
It is. It's my favourite tomato too. Can you take that and put it on the table for me?
Can I eat it?
I will get you one to eat in a minute. Not that one though.
Yeah. Oh, I think.
This is our apple tree and it has done amazingly well this year. It's laden with fruit. The boughs are again hanging down. I was really surprised the other day because I walked up and I lifted one of these apples and I thought, oh, they look lovely, and it just came off in my hand, which means they're ready. If an apple doesn't come off when you lift it, it's not ready. Like that one isn't moving, whereas, say, and there is that one. There you go. Pardon? You want a cucumber? Okay, let me find you one. You found it? You just, don't just pull it, twist it, that's it. Keep twisting. Keep twisting. Ta-da! Is that yours to eat?
It looks like a banana but green.
It does. So is that what you're going to eat now?
Yes.
What does it look like? What does it look like?
A banana or a chili? A big chili.
A big chili, a big jalapeno?
Yeah.
But tastes like cucumber?
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to go and eat it?
I need to rub off the spikes first.
Okay then. This pretty flower, I had to move this from our garden at home because, to be honest, in a small space it's a bit of a bully, and so I divided the crown and I planted it here. And what I like is that when you're standing at the bottom of the plot, there are splashes of colour which take your eye up and through the allotment, which was our goal for the year, was to just have more colour and beautification. But also I didn't want our flowers to just be confined to over on the cut flower patch, which I said I will film on another video. Look, amongst the weeds and the nasturtiums there's yet another self-sown tomato. The leek bed is doing better than it did last year, that's for sure. Well, I didn't get them in the ground last year, didn't I? Well, they're better than any ones I've grown before. They're actually looking a decent size. This Enviromesh does seem to protect them. They seem quite happy. We do need to weed in there though, because I don't want them competing with the weeds. There's actually some, because this mesh wasn't wide enough, growing just down the edge there. But there are a lot of weeds around this area, so I need to get this sorted. And we've got our chard. I'll come back here actually. So we've got our chard, which some of it's bolted, but that doesn't matter because you can still pick the leaves and they still taste good. We've got some nice red chard, yellow, white. These are massive. They're doing really, really well. Yeah, so they're good. And these are our red swan dwarf beans. I had been looking for these for ages. So red swan beans, I had looked for these for ages, like I said, and I thought I'd have to import them from America. But then I went into a garden centre and Mr. Fothergirls or Sutton's had a packet as a new release, and they are so good. They produce a lot of beans and they've only been in the ground about 2.5 weeks, and they've already, I mean, I sowed them in pots first just to clarify, but they're already pumping out loads of these beans. Right then, Roo, what's going on here? Lots of weeds.
Lots of weeds.
Lots of weeds.
We really need to fix that.
We do. So this was the raspberry bed that we were supposed to move last year, not next year, but it will be moved this year or next year now.
It went down quickly.
So the raspberry bed is just getting taken out. I might buy some new raspberries because these ones wasn't very prolific or tasty. So the raspberries, the first year that we had them, we wasn't very impressed with them. Second year we still didn't like the flavour, so we're going to take all these ones out, and we're going to get some new raspberries and put some new canes in, but they're not going to be here, they're going to be at the top of the plot. And this row, so these 2 rows, down the bottom is the herb bed, and then this row and this row will be empty. I'm going to strip them all out, and then I'm going to put in a mixture of different culinary and medicinal herbs, and then I'm going to put in some perennial flowers as well for the pollinators. So it's just going to be quite a pretty area, but also productive. Now, this is quite a magnificent nasturtium bed, to be honest. They look absolutely amazing, and they, you know, I said I wanted loads of abundance where they all overflow. This is definitely what I wanted. This is like they knew, but I didn't sow a single one of these at all. This is nature doing her thing. We had a few nasturtiums here last year when we had Amish paste tomatoes in here, and they've just self-seeded and taken over, which I don't mind, but underneath there's quite a few squash plants, and I think they've just been drowned out. And I thought, because the pollinators we brought in with the nasturtiums, because the bees absolutely love these, that we would get something on these squash plants, but again we've just got male flowers. I know there's one over there somewhere. I think there's one in there. They don't stand much of a chance, do they? Oh, there's definitely squash flowers down there, and there's a female one, I think. So I don't know if we're actually going to get any squash out of those, but it looks pretty. I treat nasturtiums as a crop in their own right. The leaves, the seeds and the flowers are edible, and with the flowers I make nasturtium jelly, which I actually want to show you how I do it this year, but it tastes like honey and sunshine. It's so good. Yes?
Can I tour the area?
You want to do the greenhouse? Okay.
Yeah,
Alright then. So down here we've got another chard bed. They've been doing really well. We've been picking loads of chard for us and our neighbours, and any leaves that go really slugged, please don't stand on my back, any leaves that go really slugged like this, we give to the chickens, but it's been really good. They've done really well. This is the kale bed. As you can tell, the kale has been fantastic this year. We do have whitefly on it. Now you can compare that, that's a green leaf, although it's still scarlet kale, it hasn't changed to the dark colour yet. But this is why I grow scarlet kale, because when it's green like this, as beautiful as it is, it still gets whitefly. Whereas when it goes dark to the purple colour, it gets virtually none at all. You see the difference? See? Loads of whitefly, no whitefly. So I love my scarlet kale. We have been picking a lot of this. Some of this has gone to seed because it bolted when I left it and put it in, but I've left it, the flowers for the bees, and also these bits are still edible, they're fine, but if it's too tough I just give to the chickens, nothing's wasted. And then we've got our zinnia flowers along the front, and we've gotten some nice cuttings from them. You're waiting patiently, aren't you?
Yes.
Right, Gigantes beans. Last year we got a few off them. I don't think we got many, but they definitely didn't produce as well as they are this year. Now these are giving off some really good beans, and I think we're actually going to have enough to harvest and dry, and also to save seed from for next year, and maybe even share some seed, who knows. But they're doing really well. They're getting massive already. You okay?
Yeah.
The raised bed was supposed to be for carrots. We didn't sow carrots in it in the end, because it just had too many stones in, and I didn't have the time to go through and sieve all of this. So we planted loads of nasturtiums, which got munched, and a courgette plant, which got munched. I planted this late. Look at this. I'll just take the head off for now so it doesn't seed. And this is a Juchikakuri, and we finally got one. So I'm chuffed with that. None of the nasturtiums are really overflowing like I'd hoped. The problem we had with this end of the bed is, all I can say is somebody, mention no names, used lots of weed killer, and we got drift, and I had some really growing quite well some squashes really growing quite well at this end. I just got stung by nettles. That'll teach me to not weed. And they all died. Eventually the nasturtiums picked back up, but we lost the squash. I forgot to show you this next to the nasturtiums. Hey little bee, having fun in there? So this is the only decent prolific summer squash plant that we've got. This is Patty Pan, and we've had one off it, and there are quite a few forming now, so, and another weed, look. Pull the head off, stop it going to seed.
Yeah.
But I think that looks lovely with the nasturtiums creeping through it, and all of these. I just love nasturtiums. Oh, the brassica bed. As you can see, these have all gone to flower. I've stung myself again. These were broccoli. They pretty much bolted as soon as I put them in, because I left them too late. Then we use them as like a sprouting broccoli. So rather than having a full head of broccoli or caprese, we use them as like sprouting broccoli shoots, and they were really tender and really delicious. And then I just let it go to seed, to flower, because the bees absolutely love them, and some of them are still flowering. And I'll just leave it there, and when they're done, I'll pull the plants out and put them on the compost heap or give them to the chickens. They are an F1. I did grow an F1 broccoli, so I can't save seed from them. But next to them we have something that is actually growing quite well. These are my red cabbage, and I've not actually looked at these properly for a while, so let's get in. We've definitely had some damage on some of the leaves. I'm not worried about that too much because, right, you see the head? Yeah, that's not forming much, is it? The leaves are good though. The leaves look great. I'm sure they'll produce something. Yeah, that one's forming up a bit better. I don't tend to eat red cabbage fresh. I just use it for pickling. I absolutely adore pickles. Never have too many pickles, ever. Rue's on camera.
Oh, right. So, this is inside the greenhouse.
So what have you got today?
So, we have these here.
Make sure that what you see in the camera is what they're seeing, okay? So, at the back, up here, we have 3 cucumber plants. We've had a few cucumbers off them, and there's this one here. Can you show this? This is a big cucumber ready to be picked, and this variety is Socrates. They are, I mean, they produce quite a lot, but I'm not keen on the flavour and texture. They taste to me like a shop cucumber, and I don't really want that. I want that really crunchy and high cucumber flavour. So I won't be growing these again, but I did want to try growing some indoor, like greenhouse cucumbers for once. But I think I'll either try a different variety next year. If anyone's got a nice recommendation for an indoor, like in the greenhouse cucumber, that is more crunchy and less watery, pop it in the comments below. So down here we've got some multi-sown spring onions. We had basil plant, which is actually going to seed. Can you see this? I'll take off that. It smells delicious. And a couple of pepper plants. We planted quite a few pepper plants in here, but as you can see, we've been suffering from a lot of slug damage in here. This is my one and only decent sized courgette plant, and it has at the moment that. Can you hear? It's got that as a courgette, which is dying back. Once again, for what, the 5th or 6th year in a row, I'm terrible at growing courgettes. I don't know what I do. I've tried different varieties. Rue, the camera's going down and down.
Oh.
I don't know what I do. I've tried different varieties. I just never get more than 1 or 2 a plant. I've done them with loads of manure, I've done them on mounds, I've put them with like a pot next to them, so I water into that. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So for those of you who get like inundated with courgettes, please share your secrets, because I'd really like more courgettes. Lower and lower. Have you got it?
Yeah.
Right. These beetroot were sown quite early. Were you ready? Right, these beetroot were sown quite early, and they didn't make any progress at all. Can you see down here? You see in here, Rue? Yeah? Yeah. Look right down. There's not much to them at all. They are tiny. They're really leafy plants, they're very happy, but we're just starting to get, if you come here, just starting to get a few baby ones. So at least we're getting something. Never usually have any problems with them. I don't know why I have this year, but I'm going to miss my beetroot because again I love them roasted and I also love them as pickles. It is really warm and humid in here, isn't it?
Hello, so this is me, Woo, and I'll be showing the back bed of the greenhouse. So right here we have some chard, which basically they has been growing quite well, hopefully, and hopefully we get some good out of it.
What's this one?
We have some fennel right here.
Well done.
Very soft, as you can see, and it's been growing very well through the years, haven't you think?
And what are these ones?
And these are spring onions.
Spring onions, yeah.
So
they've just been planted, so they're not doing much yet.
yeah, not been doing much yet, but hopefully in the future they'll be planting very well.
Thank you for your guide.
No problem.
I've also got, I let my coriander plants go to seed and I've been drying them off in the greenhouse, so these seeds I will now save some for next year and also I'll store them for cooking. I've got another load of them over here. Shall I do this last bed? So I want to talk about something.
Sure.
Yeah. So this is the last bed in this greenhouse. This is subarctic plenty tomato, which has given us a grand total of 1 tomato, and it was not the earliest of all the tomatoes. We had a big cooker tomato before one of these. Another pepper plant. We've got some basil growing in here. Again, the beetroot here is minuscule, and we've got some baby spring onions coming up. These are Coco de Pampol, which Vivi raves about. Now I was sent some seeds, but the slugs have obliterated most of them. We've got a couple left and I think I've got 1 bean, so not great. And then may I introduce you to the prettiest of pretty tomatoes. This is my absolute favourite. This variety is called Phelan's. The way it looks, this is Phelan's First Snow. It is the most variegated plant I've ever seen. If you can see here, the stems are actually a lilac colour and it is just so pretty. I'm absolutely in love with it. The problem we've got is that as of yet, it's not set a single fruit. It's like, no, it's just like, I'm pretty, I don't need to do fruits. It's got loads of flowers on, but nothing else. It just seems to exist, knowing that it's beautiful. And I absolutely adore it. I want to grow it again next year. I want this plant's genetics in some seeds. I've grown another Phelan's First Snow and it was nowhere near as variegated as this. So I want this one to just set just 1 fruit. I told it I love it a lot. I told it it's pretty. And just need one, just 1 fruit. So cross your fingers for me, guys, because it's just lovely. It's a quite a wrinkle leaf variety, and there are some flowers that have dried, but I don't want to mess with them. There's another big bunch of them here, so fingers crossed this beauty gives us some nice fruits. I don't think we've actually showed you this greenhouse completed yet, have we? What are you doing? Oh. So what I've done is I built a slight raised bed along this hedge with some bricks, and that's where the cucumbers and that are. Got a pallet bed at the back which had a trellis to grow a loofah up, which never happened, and then we've got this bed at the side here. The floor is covered by what are they called? Chainsaw shavings, which is doing great for suppressing weeds, and it also looks nice. We shall now make our way down to the bottom greenhouse. Heya! You alright?
Yes.
Beardy dude. So this is the bottom greenhouse. Because of this bottom greenhouse, I have pretty much decided. Are you going to stay there?
Yes.
So I have decided I'm not going to grow peppers next year. I'm just going to use this all for tomatoes. last year these pepper plants were really, over your head Roo, really abundant, and we've had one pepper off them this year. They're actually in bigger pots than they was last year. They've been fed again. This one seems to be the only one that's putting on any fruit now, and this is Bequino. So they're like tiny. They're tiny and they're sweet but mildly hot as well. So I wanted more of those, but if I can get one I can save seed from, that's something. Yeah, there's not much to say about those, is there? No. We've got this tomato in a pot. This is Lepansky. It's just setting off some new flowers. I don't know if it's got a couple more new fruits, but let's pick that. So there you go, Lepansky. It's more of a pinky red, and it is probably overripe. I should have picked it a couple of days ago, but they're really nice meaty tomatoes, and they've got a gorgeous flavour. They do have cracking like many heirlooms do, but I will be growing those every year now that they're in my top favourites. This is Napa Chardonnay, no, Napa Rose Blush. You can see they're going pink there. Oh, it is ripe. Come on, off you come. You're going in my belly. I find that they split quite easily if they have prolonged exposure to water, so that's why I've grown it inside. And they have a little bit of acid, and quite sweet, and then it goes very mild, and they're nice. I like those. I've saved plenty of seed of those. So are you ready? Right. So this has been very rambly. This has been very long. I think I've shown you everything that I wanted to show you today. It's a mess, to be honest. I'm not going to lie, it's a mess. But it's our mess, and we are only really getting harvest of the occasional tomato, now some beans in the last couple of days, kale and chard. So it is what it is, but we have some food, and that food, oh, and cucumbers, and that food we can share with other people. I will be back soon to show you the other plot and the plants that we've got over there, and also I have a different video for you hopefully tomorrow, which is going to help us have some exciting plans for growing in the future. So if you want to know what that is, make sure you check in with us again later in the week. Yes, darling?
Would you like any coffee?
I would love a coffee, but not right now. Right, thank you for watching. This has been Jazz, Beardy Dude and Roo from Alternative Smallholding. Sorry that it was a long video, but as I said, we haven't done one since April, so I just wanted to give you more of a tour. So take care, and we will see you soon. Bye bye.